Hello viewers of the channel. Today I would like to tell you about the Austrian painter Ludwig Deutsch, and also to talk about his paintings he painted in Egypt and about Egypt. Ludwig Deutsch was born in Vienna in 1855 and died in Paris in 1935. He was an Austrian painter who settled in Paris and became a noted Orientalist artist. Throughout the 1890s, he visited Egypt at least 3 times. Like many of his contemporaries, he found inspiration in the North African light, colors, scenery, and customs. He collected a vast quantity of Oriental objects, including tiles, furniture, arms, pipes, fabrics, and costumes, which he would subsequently use in his paintings. And this we will see actually very clear in almost every of his paintings. His early work focused primarily on historical objects and subjects, but after visiting Egypt, he concentrated on Orientalist scenes. He was particularly interested in capturing the rich, opulent scenes of the palace and its environs. The detail in his paintings is excellent. He was prolific, producing many paintings with the same theme: prayers, guards, musicians, street vendors, etc. In order to produce paintings in large volume, he created a virtual assembly line approach, using the same settings with different subjects and activities to create an impression of variety. Many of Ludwig Deutsch's paintings are now in the Shafiq Gabr collection. Amongst his best known works are The Scribe, The Musician, Interlude. His works are considered to be among the most sought after by collectors. Like many of his contemporaries, including Rudolf Ernst and Jean-Léon Gérôme, Deutsch made extensive use of photography, and this we will see actually in many of his paintings we will show today. Deutsch made extensive use of photography to ensure architectural accuracy in his painted renderings of local architectural features, for example, tiles, oblong stonework, and the traditional mashrabiyya woodwork, in what has been described as documentary realism in art. This allowed him to use the Orient as inspiration, but to produce most of his paintings in his Paris studio. And now I will show you the paintings Ludwig Deutsch painted in Egypt, and I have divided them into groups, like a group for guards of palaces, a group for prayers and praying and mosques, a group for literacy and schools, a group showing intellectual life in Egypt, a group for musicians, a group for what we can see inside palaces and courts, a group for streets and activities of people inside in streets, a group for vendors and merchants, a group for craftsmen, a group for the Nile and rural areas, a group of portraits, and one connected with ancient Egypt. The group of guards Here we have these paintings with the name The Offering, painted in 1897. And here actually we are in front one of Ludwig Deutsch masterpieces. Here look at the composition of the painting, people bringing offering and presents to a palace. Look at the guard, look at the colors, look at the vivid picture Ludwig Deutsch had illustrated and gave us. Look at the details in the paintings. It is absolutely astonishing way of showing this composition. And also look at the so vivid colors in the painting. Here we have the guard, Nubian guard, with his arms. Look at the details of the weapons, the sword, the dagger, the gun, and also the face features. Here we have a close look at the people bringing the offering in profile. Look at the details even of the hands and the veins in the hands and the lavishly decorated colored dresses. And here we have another close-up even of the details of the box of gifts they are giving. And here, look at the use of light by Ludwig Deutsch, how he is using and implementing the light in his paintings and shades as well. And also, if you look at the background of the paintings, you can see this marvelous ornament on the wall, such amazing geometrical designs, Islamic designs, known at that time. Even here, we can see details on the left-hand side of the paintings showing people busy in inspecting a number of gifts and vases and cloth. Also look at the back of this Nubian servant. Look at the shades and colors and light. Here we have a painting under the name The Nubian Palace Guard, painted in 1892. Again, look at the splendid details and photographical style of Ludwig Deutsch. Look at the vivid colors, look at the components in the paintings, the background, the arabesque, the oblak stones, the mashrabiyas, the wood framework, splendid, and also the center of the painting showing this Nubian palace guard and the way he looks, the way he gazes, and also his pose, holding his spear, fully armed, and also the details of the mouth. Here we have this close-up scene showing the upper part of the Nubian guard, and actually a feature you will see in most of Ludwig Deutsch paintings is how he is displaying the faces of the people he is making paintings of. They are looking and gazing in the far, as if they are not looking to something specific. They are looking just to the horizon or something. And here we have this painting under the name The Palace Guard II, or the Nubian Guard II, painted in 1902. Again, look at the whole composition of the painting, the guard in his hand holding a spear. Look at the dresses and the vivid colors of his dresses. And also look at the architectural element behind him and the lavishly decorated facades of a palace. Here we have a close look of the Nubian guard, and again you can see that he is gazing in the horizon. And also, if you look at the way the head and the neck are positioned, it is showing actually a look of pride, a look of dignity of this Nubian guard. And here we have details of the background of the paintings, intricate and splendid geometrical designs. And this is something you will see in all of Ludwig Deutsch paintings. And here we have this painting under the name The Nubian Guard, painted in 1896. Here we can see so clear how Ludwig Deutsch used the same subject of paintings. This one here, the guard in his position is almost identical to the previous one. It's another guard with another dress, with another background, but it's the same theme, the same subject, the same pose. And this is a close look at the guard, the same pose of the body, broad shoulders, looking to the side, the same expression of the eyes, and holding this lavishly decorated spear with ornaments and decorations. Again, note the splendid decorations in the background of beautifully decorated tiles, blue tiles. Again, we can see more details of the background and the marble columns to the right hand side. And here we have this painting under the name Nubian Palace Guard, or Nubian Guard, painted in 1907. You can see here the same style as the previous two, a guard with his hand on his waist holding a spear, looking and gazing far away. And also note how he painted the smoke of the incenser by the feet of the guard. Here you can see the tip of the spear and how he was so careful with the illustration of the fine details of his subjects. Here we have details of the incenser, on the smoke, and how he was capable of this depicting of the smoke. And here we have this painting under the name of the Emir, or the Answer, painted in 1883. Here, look at such detail of the Emir, and behind him his guard, how the guard is illustrated looking down and putting his hand on his chest. All of these are signs of respect. Even the Emir is not looking at him, he's looking somewhere else, gazing somewhere else. Here, Ludwig Deutsch has illustrated a moment in time. He illustrated the social status of the Emir. He illustrated an image of the people of that time. And again, look at the splendid use of colors light and shades. Here we have this close-up at the face of the emir and also the guard behind him. Here we have this painting showing the Arab Guard. The name of the painting is the Arab Guard, painted in 1881. Again, look at the details of the garments, the costumes, the dresses Ludwig Deutsch had painted. Also look at the details of the weapons and the arms of this guard. And here we have close-up at the most decorated part of the painting, this belt around his waist, and look at the dagger, look at the pistol or gun, and this bag on the top of his belly. Now we come to another group of paintings, which is the one talking about prayers and the activity of praying of the people at the time, and also the mosques of Egypt at the time. Here we have this painting under the name At Prayer, dating back to 1923. Here we have a man, an old man, shown about to pray. Look at the splendid and gorgeous composition of the whole painting concerning the walls, the floor, the carpet, dress of the man. And here, close-up, showing the details of the face of the man, with his eyes, with his head inclined towards the ground as a sign of submission to God before praying. And here we have this section, this part of the painting showing the holder of the Quran. Look at, it's made of wood. Yeah, look at the tiny details of this holder or stand, and how the artist had been able to capture all of such elements of this holder. This painting actually was not painted in Egypt, and it is representing a Moor at prayer. It is painted in 1898. Again, look at the way Ludwig Deutsch has illustrated the prayer, the praying man. It is almost identical to the previous one, except here we have a Moor from Morocco about to pray. And here we have a close-up at the scene. Look at the shades and light in the painting. And again, details of the Quran holder in front of him. And this is the background showing the tiles with these intricate, tiny, splendid, colorful details. And here we have this painting under the name In the Mosque or Morning Prayer, painted in 1906. Here the man is shown raising hand for praying. Look at the carpet and the details of the carpet under his feet. And here we have this close-up at the face of the man. And here we have this painting under the name At the Door of the Mosque, painted in 1886. Colors are so vivid, the painting is flooded with light. Here also note the ablak stones behind him in two different colors, light green and light pale yellow. And here we have close-up to the face of the man with his arms upraised. And also look at the door to the left-hand side. This door is made of metal and has these ornaments of geometrical designs. And again, we can see that Ludwig Deutsch paid great attention to show such details. And here we have this painting under the name Morning Prayers, signed and dated Paris 1902. Here we can see that the light is coming from the right at the back of the prayer. And this is a close look at the man during his prayers. And pay attention even to the details of the hand and the eyes of the man. Even at the corner to the left-hand side, squatting on the ground, this man shown in a pose of meditating, looking at the ground, and look how the hands are resting peacefully in this way. Hanging from the ceiling, as we can see, such amazing lamp with all these places for oil glasses to illuminate the mosque. And here we have this painting under the name Before Prayers. And actually this one is not dated. And I think personally that this one is dating back to the last years of his visit in Egypt, as it doesn't have this much details, neither of the persons nor of the background. Now we come to one of my favorite paintings under the name The Hour of Prayer, painted in 1887. This one has splendid composition, colors, light, shade, subjects. The main subject here is this blind man leaning on a stick or using a stick to guide him, and also using this little boy. This little boy is also acting as a guide for this blind man to go here and there. Look at the details of the head, the face, the eyes, and how the man is moving his head up. And here, look at this subject, and it is like a side dish. You can see it to the right hand side. Look at the man on the floor. This is supposed to be one of the darwishes at that time. They are sometimes using the mosques as shelters, a place to rest, a place to find peace. And look at the one raising his hands and clenching on the wall of the mosque. And here in the scene, the upper part is showing the beams of light, where they are coming from, in the form of just straight shades of white color coming from the left to the right. And here we have this painting under the name Leaving the Mosque, painted in 1900. Again, look at the vivid image of the components of the painting. The center of the painting is occupied by this imam or religious Islamic clerk holding a book in his hand with this green scarf, which is a symbol of Islam. Look at the people behind him. Look at the man holding his hand and kissing it. And look at the gaze of the eye of this man. Again, he is looking and he is gazing in the far. And here we have close-up at the man, as this man with this donkey which this donkey actually is the transport mean for the Imam of the mosque. And here we have this painting under the name The Prayer at the Tomb, painted in 1898. Here the light is coming from the left, and what we can see in the middle here is a tomb, and we can see these two pillars at the front and the back. These are inscribed with text from the Holy Quran. And here you can see close up at the face of the man, showing a glimpse of sorrow on his face. Details on the right hand side showing this group of people. One is squatting on the ground, one is standing and praying or reciting Al-Fatiha, which is like the Lord prayers in Christianity, and one is leaning on the tomb monument. And here we have this decorations and paintings just under the ceiling. So complicated and splendid details of decorations. And here we have this painting under the name Interior of a Mosque, and it is not dated, and it is somehow blurry. I believe it is dating back to the last years of his visit in Egypt. And this is another painting showing an interior of a mosque, but here the colors are more vivid, are more vibrant. And here we have this painting under the name The Holy Stone, painted in 1923. And here, look at how he used the light. And look at the shades of the Holy Stone, the shade of the man. And here we have this painting under the name The Lamp Lighter, dating back to 1900. Again, it's one of his masterpieces with colors, with details, and with this accuracy of reflecting a moment, which is lighting the lamp inside the mosque. Here, when we zoom on the lamp lighter, we can see these details of him holding a glass pot in one hand, and with the other hand he is pouring oil to place it in the lamp above his head. Again, look at the details of the man and his face. And here in the corner of the mosque, we have this beautifully depicted vase captured by Ludwig Deutsch with these amazing details and amazing colors. Now we come to the group of paintings showing literacy, or letters, or the men of letters, or the schools of Cairo at that time. Here we have this painting under the name In the Madrasa. Madrasa here is an Arabic word for school, dating back to about 1900. Again, this is a masterpiece of art showing tens of details, showing architectural elements, showing costumes, dresses, faces, features, architectural decorations of the building of the madrasa. Look at how everybody is engaged in the activity of learning, old and young, adults and children. Even here, to the right hand side of the painting, we can see this group of 1, 2, 3, 4 children engaged in this activity of reading and writing and reciting and memorizing verses, maybe from the Quran or from books. And here we have this Nubian student, and you can see the book is emerging from his garment. He is looking actually down to the parchment of paper or to the book the three people on the ground are reading. Look at how he depicted his interest to know what they are reading. And here, to the extreme left-hand side of the painting, we can see this old man again engaged and busy in the process of reading. And here we have this painting under the name The Quran School, painted in 1905. Here, the most remarkable feature about this painting is the light. The light actually is in the center of the painting. The light is directed on this teacher or tutor or lesson giver or educator. Look at how everybody is listening to him, is paying attention to him. Their eyes and their senses are directed towards him. And here we have this painting under the name An Arab Schoolmaster, painted 1889. Here again, you can see how Ludwig Deutsch was mastering the use of light and shade. Here a close look at the center of the painting, the schoolmaster and this little pupil or little student reading from this paper in his hand. And here we have this painting under the name Al-Azhar Arab University of Cairo, painted 1890. This is the open court of Al-Azhar Mosque, and as we can see, the painting is not completed, and this we can see actually in the outlines of people in the middle section. They are just outlined and no paintings, but we can see that Ludwig Deutsch paid great attention to show the architectural element of Al-Azhar University or Al-Azhar Mosque. You can see the crenellations, you can see the windows, the pillars, the columns, the windows, the balconies. And here we have this painting under the name The Lesson, a group of students sitting and standing, busy in reading and writing. And here we have this group of paintings under the name Intellectual, and it is illustrating the intellectual elite of the society at the time, like philosophers, like writers, like scribes, like scholars. This painting is under the name The Philosopher, painted in 1905, and actually also this one is one of his masterpieces, showing this man leaning on this column, gazing to the far. And here again, as we have seen in previous paintings, the splendid use of light. Here we have this close-up of the painting showing the philosopher, and this photo actually is coming from the Shafiq Gabr collection. More close to the details of the face of the philosopher and the gaze of his eyes. And here, look at the amazing details showing the hand holding a rosary. And here we have this decorations, Arabic text ornaments on the wall, on the section to the right of the painting. And here we have this painting under the name The Scholar, painted 1895. Here we have a man resting, sitting on a bench, reading this piece of paper, and look at the light shed through this window on the right hand side. And here we have on the left hand side of the painting these volumes of books. All of these would tell us that this man, which is the subject of the painting, is a scholar or a man of letters or a man of science. Also note the inkwells on the table here on the right hand side, and the pen. They are shown very clear with amazing details. And here we have a close look at the scholar, and look at the light shed on his face from the window on the right hand side. He is holding this piece of paper and reading and studying. And here we have this piece of arabesque, very common piece of ornament of Islamic decorations and ornaments. And here we have this painting under the name The Scholars, painted in 1901. Also, it is an excellent piece with splendid details, showing three men. One is sitting and two are standing. The two standing, they are examining a document in the hand. And here we have zoom in, showing the two men examining the piece of document, which has, maybe it is a verse of the Quran. And look how Ludwig Deutsch is showing the expression of the bodies, the hands and the faces in his paintings. You can see here the hand is pointing to the document while examining it. And here we have such details of the man sitting, reading from this book. And here we have this painting under the name The Scholar, dating back to 1895. Again, a man holding a book in one hand and reading a document with the other hand. Again, look at this amazing details of the decorations of this door on the left hand side. Also on the top, that frieze and the book stand or the book holder. And here, close-up, showing the man engaged in reading the document. This painting is under the name The Learned or The Educated, painted in 1901. Again, look at the use of light in this painting. Look at the scale of the decorations, the tiny ornaments of the background. And this close-up of the man, again, showing him gazing and thinking and holding a book in one hand and the other hand resting on his temple. And this painting is under the name The Scribe, painted in 1911, showing an old man, an aged man, outside, sitting on this big chair with the water pipe beside him, with a feather in his hand and a piece of paper on his lap. And so close we can see the expressions of the face and the details of his face features. And again, as a trademark of Ludwig Deutsch, that gaze of eyes of his models. And here we have this details of the water pipe on this table. Smoking water pipes was very common among the people of that age. And look at the beautiful table, tiny table with these amazing decorations.